is the right place, but we are not getting down.
Yes.
Just see the kind of
Versace.
afterwards.
$1.
Yeah, you can come later also.
Spend dollars.
When I'm sure that they won't stop, then we say.
So on the right hand side is a Lebanese restaurant.
Events, yeah.
You and cheese.
And now we are coming out to the Armani collection in front of you.
Oh.
But see on the left, this is the covering of a building. They are repairing the building on the left hand side.
Ah.
So that is something unique. Yeah, that will be gone very soon because if you come next.
Armani shop nga.
Kind of cloth it is.
That was Armani.
Satin.
Covered walls.
It's five floors to buy bags and purses. On the right you have a Phuket's
The
restaurant
famous Louis Vuitton.
where a cup of coffee is only €6, but service is with a smile. So you came here last time probably, you know. Yeah, we are going to drive on this avenue and then, which is the Champs-Élysées. It has got 220
Arc de
shops,
Triomphe.
11 cinema halls, and there's also a picture of Taj Mahal on the left. So we are going to the gate. We'll take a round of the gate. This is the Arc de Triomphe, built by Napoleon, but he could not finish it. So finished by the kings who followed him, which is called the restoration of monarchy. So Napoleon is standing on the left pillar. On the left pillar, behind the last tree on the left, there is a big statue of Napoleon holding a dagger in his hand. He is dressed like a Roman emperor, and above his head there is a lady with 50 battles and 5 million dead, so you cannot call him great. And on the right hand side you have a Cartier shop, if you buy one also. And now if you want a special watch we made, you need to have 6 buttons. And between the two pillars you have a flame on the just in center, which is the eternal flame. Just see, there is a rooster in the head of the lady, you see. So that is a symbol of France. The Republic Day parade begins from here on the 14th of July, which is the day when they stormed the Bastille prison. On the road they have put red stone. You just see there are 12 avenues which come here, so there is red stone each time a new avenue comes in. On the left hand side you have got 2 children with their mother, so it's a statue of peace. And the last pillar talks about war, because the father and the wife are holding a soldier and he's going to war. So these were completed in 1836. And all these buildings are made by the same architect. The first building behind the red bus is the Embassy of Qatar on the left hand side. So see, now we are going to this road, which is 2.5 kilometers. Yeah, subway. It was made after the subway of New York. The oldest is in London. So as soon as we have reached the end of this road, there is a huge pillar. That is where the king was beheaded, Louis XVI, who was 40 years old, and then Marie Antoinette, who used to change 4 dresses a day. She was very fond of gambling, but she raised her own children. In those days, queens were not raising her children, they were maids. So she is one of the first queens. She was born in Vienna, so she traveled for 17 days before she came to Paris.
This is the Lido.
And both have not seen one another,
Right.
only the portrait has been sent. Yeah, that was happening in many countries till about 100 years ago. But then she was married because to consolidate the French position in Europe, because there were 2 important countries, France and England. So they were looking for alliances. So this road also has got the Toyota showroom, which is coming to your right hand side. There's a new model displayed here.
So,
So Paris, Paris is located at 49 degrees latitude, and this year we haven't had a good summer. This is how it is in the mid-September. This is not summer climate, but that's how it is. There is an office of Iran Air. You see the Queen of Iran next. She lives in Paris. Her son lives in Washington DC, who might become the next monarch. Opening of the Citroën car company, this glass building. So we will now be leaving the shopping area and coming to the flower. There are flowers here. This is the marigold flower. On both the sides, there is a crystal fountain. On both the sides, you see, the fountains are made with crystal. Entering the second phase of the road, which has got some museums and theaters. And now I'll show you so when he was studying to be a military officer, his teacher wrote once, so you see, and the script which is written on the pillar is hieroglyphics, which means a sacred script. It is a Greek word. It is read from bottom to top. If you want to read it, there are books available in the museum now.
Wow.
And there is a picture below the pillar. It shows you how it was transported with the pulleys, right? Just look at this fountain. There is water coming out of dolphin fish. There are two fountains. Talk about sea gods like Poseidon, Neptune, Triton, and so on. So this pillar was transported in 1832 because a Frenchman was able to decode this language, right? Known as hieroglyphics, because when easy language. Now if you know Hindi and Sanskrit, Hindi is demotic, These two buildings are made by Louis XV. The building on the right is the Navy headquarters. In the center is the church. And now you will see the building where the first treaty was signed between France and US. And there's a US flag in front of you on the right. And that, I don't know what journalists are doing. We're not interested to know what kind of suits he's buying, but that's how it is. So in front of you there is a Parliament House, France. 107 ladies also. So we'll take a stop.
Yeah, એટલે આફ્રિકામાં જે ફ્રેન્ચ કોલોની હતી ત્યાંથી બધા કાઢ્યા અહીંયા આવેલા એ લોકોને ફ્રેન્ચ પાસપોર્ટ ને બધું બી મળેલું એટલે ફ્રેન્ચ સિટીઝનશીપ મળે એ લોકોને. Look at this wonderful square. The biggest in Europe. This open square area. ठीक है, हम आपका फोटो गिराते हैं.
कैमरा से बताना.
Yeah. Everybody at our service. Okay.
He was standing in the crowd, So he didn't. So he's a changed man now. Khusru told you, and whatever is 2 hours. I mean the Mona. See, it says Orleans below the clock. So it was a railway station initially. Now it is. Learn German. His wife was Spanish. Euros for adults and free below 18. So even today is the same thing. If you are too strong, you are chucked out of the seen. Same thing happened. You see,
Area 1.
the French don't have a good breakfast. They have a weak breakfast. They have a good lunch and a very big dinner, which is not good for health. One should have the other way around. So a lot of Japanese live here.
Numerous areas.
That's why you can try sushi here on the right. Holly sushi.
Police station.
But if you're in France, you should try oysters. When you eat an oyster, you look at the oyster, he looks at you because it's a living organism. But anyway, we are now going to the Rama restaurant, one of the good restaurants of Paris. In Paris, there are more than 75 restaurants.
Wow.
45 have tablecloth, 45 don't have. But the food is the same. It is the biggest opera ever constructed anywhere. It is as famous as the one of Milan. Milan is actually the first. And on the top, you see, Apollo is standing with a lyre, an instrument in his hands. The dome is made like the crown of an emperor, you see. You know, it was completed during Napoleon III's time. And when you go there, the show is once in a week, ballet. You sit on red chairs. Why? Because they say when you sit on a red chair, you look attractive. So that is
Biggest opera.
the secret behind the red color. And you see, that is the time when they are making the geographer. But you know, when the first planes
Look at Paris.
were carrying passengers, used to travel for 33 hours from Paris to New York. And you say jet set. That was the jet set. In the 1930s, when the new first planes appeared, people were going by boat. You know that America is made by the people who left Europe, who were fed up of Europe. Yeah, because there was bonded labor in Europe. One famine in Ireland means the half country goes. I mean, if you look at the history of America, it's very simple. People used to travel by boats. And there were three classes. If you have seen Titanic film, I'm sure. It's a real, it's quite real what they talk about it. So the first people who flew, they were called jet set. Now the guys are jet set who have Prada glasses. Not Ray-Bans, but Prada. Anyway, we are coming to the stock exchange. The good news comes at 3:15 when the New York Stock Exchange opens. Or the bad news. Anyway, I'm not into stock market, so for me all is good news.
Your seats and the lunch will be served on the table. Nothing very extravaganza. It's a simple restaurant, but you will get homely food. Now there is another group also who may arrive.
Rama Indian restaurant. Downstairs. Smells like. Going to Louvre.
And hotel, which was hired by monumental for 6 days.
Wow.
A lot of people stayed here.
Most famous opera.
There are 400 rooms.
The opera.
Yeah. It's one of the most expensive streets of the city. In front of you is a huge pillar made with the cannons. They melted 1,200 cannons. And you see there's a figure of Napoleon on the top. And on the right hand side is the biggest Cartier shop of the city. On the right, Charles de Gaulle used to wear Chavet ties, so Khusro also wears Chavet ties.
Got your watch here.
It's a fact. And on the right hand side is the Ritz Hotel. You see all these nice guys are standing. There's red carpet to go inside. So Princess Diana left from the back gate.
Wow, look at this.
The next building on the right is the Ministry of Justice. Ground from Chaumet. Chaumet is on the left and also. So this is the Tuileries Gardens. The Tuileries Gardens are very famous because there was the first gardens made for the palace. Now they are full public gardens, and these all the trees are planted in one line. You see, the first trees.
Yes.
So this is 15,000. But that's how it is. But the cheapest car in France is 8,000 euros. That cheap. So we once again go through the Concorde Square, which through this square. So it is in a way the center of Paris. These are quite close by.
Eiffel Tower are the same height, see?
Yeah.
Concorde. And Concorde was also a pact or a treaty signed with Vatican City. Napoleon is the only guy who put the Pope behind the bars. Damn cathedral. His mother never came because she boycotted the ceremony. So that I can show you the place where marriage, you have to drink 2 glasses of day every day, but nobody talks about the size of the glass. This building on the left is the world famous Louvre
Yes, we got
palace converted into a museum.
Louvre.
Now there are 6,000 paintings
6,000.
and 75,000 objects in the Egyptian section only.
Wow.
So there are 3 wings. So if you want to see Mona Lisa and the Greek masterpieces, go to the
inside.
Denon section, D-E-N-O-N, and then you can find the Mona Lisa and other things, of course. So a lot of sun is shining on this section on the left because this is the Queen section.
To see
In France, the Queen gets the sunny part, the
400,000
King lives in the cold part,
objects of
so have the
art.
mind cold. And the King has to be in his room before 8 in the morning. So he has to rush back and 7 onwards. He's not allowed to get up in the Queen's room. And this is the place on the left where Tony Parker, here on the left. On your right hand side there is the old mint, where coins were old building. It is Gothic architecture, you see, with these round towers. And behind the tower there is a cock, you see, on the spire. And now we take a right turn to this
3 weeks.
an
They
interesting part
convert
of Paris.
this. They put sand
And on the left you have the town hall.
They
You know,
convert
behind
into
you look behind you,
beach.
the marble building. That is the town hall. So town hall, the mayor is the boss of Paris. So you can make a lot of money from the below the table. You go inside. There is Bible written on the stone on the left, above the 3 gates here. So I told you, I've been carrying a dragon, you see. Saint Michael. And to your right is the first palace of the kings. You see some coins in the first building on the left in the windows where you have the money, metals, just in the windows there are coins which are of course for sale.
Wow.
So this is a very famous place. We used to work here.
Academy of
Science. You know, in France they don't like English, so English words are not easily incorporated in French. French frogs, to tease frog. FR, French frogs. Because French people are also eating the legs of traffic signals. Restaurant Voltaire. If you can now look on the left hand side, there is a restaurant. So he used to live here, Voltaire, who was a man with a lot of vision. He was talking about equality between the haves and have-nots. But that in those days, the sugar was imported from the West Indies, So he used to say, we will not abolish. When the England blocked the route, so they made sugar out of sugar beet.
Lux. So in case you want to buy
going to enter Louvre. Walking to entrance. Going to Denon for Mona Lisa. The Denon wing. So we are at the Louvre finally. Look at how the museums are. म्युझियम એટલે આમ આપણને તો ખબર બી નહીં પડે કે આવી રીતે મ્યુઝિયમ at the ceiling.
But you cannot spend 2 minutes after each one.
Going towards monumental. Okay, this is the famous Mona Lisa. Inside the Louvre. Going out. Getting out of Louvre. Out of the Louvre. Going for dinner.
Stop
6:35
it!
PM.
Come right if you win.
Nearing the statue of Joan of the Arc.
Again and again. The address book. So you know, write down your
In fact, stomach and cheese to me, kindly do so. I'll wait for so, because you faced the opera. See, ladies and gentlemen, on the right hand side, the Ritz Hotel. Now, as I said, she had a last supper here, and when she left from the back entrance to avoid the paparazzis. Now, the back entrance, if you see, of course, it's a very, very small lane. And the road you now follow, the
Ritz
exactly
Hotel from where
that
Diana.
road they follow via the pillars. Now you see on the left hand side, across the bridge, the National Assembly of France. Okay? And when I cross the traffic light, you observe on the right hand side. That's the Magdalene Church. Now the Magdalene Church has got 64 pillars and no windows. Now you'll understand then the architecture.
Where's the camera?
Where the accident occurred.
Alma tunnel, the next tunnel, where the Diana and Lodi fire
Azari.
occurred.
Alma Tunnel, huh? Okay?
Here the accident occurred.
It crashed into this pillar. No, it crashed into this pillar.